thank you so much for tuning in for this fourth and penultimate instalment of the Leader Development Training. As you can see, my internet now is working in semi-full Technicolor glory, so not only can you hear me, you can also actually match the words to my mouth, so that's very, very good progress indeed. Not bad for the fourth attempt. Oh, sorry, I forgot to press the buttons. Hang on. Press some buttons. Hang on a second. Okay, so here we are then. So it wouldn't do at all for me to progress any further into this fourth session without congratulating a great number of wonderful people right across the Isogenics opportunity, and of course right here in our not so small little corner of the Platinum Exec Group. First and foremost, I would like to congratulate the very wonderful Steph McKittrick, who has further gone on. I've unmuted Steph. Who has gone on. She's really, really striven, as she was just saying, you know, being post-operative after fairly major surgery just a couple of weeks ago. 11 days ago, was it, Steph?
11 days, yeah.
11 days ago. And not only that, I received her product, was one of the first lucky few to receive their products on launch day, or shortly after, should I say. And then has been so buzzing and exciting, not only working, taking care of our young daughter, and healing, going in the recovery process, but also, in addition to all of that, has also gone on to achieve the wonderful accolade and rank position of 1-star Crystal Director. So, yay! So that's really amazing, and a number of other really fantastic promotions besides. I'm sure that you've seen the recognition posts in the Isogenics Business Europe group, as well as the Health and Wealth group, and all the other amazing leader groups that are out there as well. So if you haven't already, be sure to take a look through those. Pass on your congratulations. After all, whatever you put out into the world comes back tenfold, so it won't be long until it's your turn to receive the recognition if you haven't already. And of course, a lot of lovely posts and thanks and congratulations and all that kind of thing will be a welcome thing then too. So I'll just take the charger out of my computer for no apparent reason, and then continue to say that we're now obviously coming to the close of this first such vital and important week. Really amazing and fantastic things have been achieved, and I'm sure there's going to be more promotions and more recognition to be had before the week ends. So it's really about making the most of these next 24, 5, 6, 7, 27 or so hours, making that difference, hitting the mark, whatever your goal, whatever it is you're hoping to strive for and to achieve. Then, of course, as I've said on each of the calls so far, I'll say one more time again, and no doubt again tomorrow and the day after, is that we are here to help, to enable, to support, to empower, to encourage, and to cajole and motivate in any which way we can. All you need to do is reach out. A couple of you actually reached out to me after the call last night, which was very lovely to receive. We had really wonderful phone calls, which I've just been receiving a little bit of feedback, and has really made the difference to those individuals' businesses. I'll not mention them just in case they're a little bit shy, as some of us are sometimes, me included, of course. So that's really good to see. So, you know, we are here, all the leaders of the Platinum Exec Group, all the successful people, not only in terms of previous experience, but current. That doesn't necessarily mean just about rank or file or recognition. It's someone who's out there who has the right attitude, mindset, and skill base to enable, empower, and to see us succeed. Then just reach out. That's all you need to do. You know, have no fear. So often we all hear about, I didn't want to bother you because I thought you'd be too busy. Oh, I'm sure there's plenty of people messaging you. And, you know, both of those things are very true. However, we always have room for more. We can always make room for a 5 or 10, maybe 15 or minutes longer phone call. We can do a Zoom or just chats via Facebook Messenger or text message. whatever your preferred method, or indeed come along to one of the training sessions and get your questions answered there. So there's plenty of avenues to come and receive, and failing all of that, or should you really not wish to still bother anyone, even though that couldn't be further from the truth, then of course that's why the training groups, the support groups, the Facebook groups as a whole are there, not only to provide you with information, to keep you in the loop on the latest training, the latest information, events, recognition, so on and so on and so on, but also for you to put input in. So if you have a good idea, then by all means share that, even if it's just an idea at this stage. Get some feedback on it. If you're a little bit shy about doing a live on your wall or recording a video, well, share it in the group first and get some constructive feedback, get some positive reinforcement before you go on to share it on your public, on your wall, or on your, not your wall, what is it? Yeah, on your wall. On your wall? Is that the right word? I'm getting mixed up now because I'm just talking words. Anyway, so whatever it is that you might need, it's there. All you need to do is ask or to post it in the group, and an answer will be very forthcoming, very imminently. So have no fear at all on that front. So we are going to be developing a series of training moving forward. We've done quite an intensive run. It's been really wonderful to welcome you each of the evenings for this week, and then right the way through till tomorrow evening too. I'm quite sure that you don't want to be putting an hour or two every single evening for the rest of your life aside. I'm sure that you do have other things to be getting on with. So with that in mind, and also with obviously wanting to provide you with the very best value, what we'll be doing is each Monday and Thursday evening, we'll be doing a Zoom session similar to this, where we'll be providing the latest information, recognition, guidance, inviting wonderful guest speakers, just like we've had all of this week and continuing on to tomorrow too, to share their pearls of wisdom, their knowledge and expertise generated over a career of a number of years, varying obviously per person. And also to be sharing moving forward what exactly works in exactly this setting at exactly this time. So there's no one better, in my opinion, irrespective of all these incredible leaders with 10, 15, 20 years experience, all of whom have incredible value, don't get me wrong whatsoever, but still the best person to teach someone how to do something is the person that has just done it themselves. So there's a very simple rule of thumb that we operate here in the Platinum Exec Group, which is that if it's simple enough to teach an 8-year-old in 10 minutes, and they in turn can teach it to their 8-year-old friend, in 10 minutes, then that's the rule that we're working to. So all the information is logical, practical, and more than that is tried and tested, so that should you wish to take the mantle and take on board the information and make it into your own before trying it for yourself, then success is sure to follow. So moving on now then, as we do very swiftly, is that, as we know, in my little opening sessions this week, so far we've covered the importance of enthusiasm, how enthusiasm is a contagious thing. We've covered about the magical £20 note list. I'm sure you've all gone away and written and extended those even further, hopefully as a result of some of the information we've shared. And then also we talked last night just about the making the initial approach. So about opening that conversation in a natural and organic way, about dropping into the conversation about all the lovely things that are occurring. So just like you swap notes about holidays and hotels and travel and friends and family and new jobs, of course you're going to drop into conversation about this wonderful health and nutrition company that you're now working with, the fantastic benefits that you've got moving forward, developing your own story and how you feel great about the products. They're coming through thick and fast, and hopefully you're going to be sharing those on the group moving forward for the benefit of everyone else too. I'm sure that everyone will have their own as we're going along. So then what we said we'd cover tonight, just in the next 5 minutes or so, is what do we do once we've made that approach? So the thing is, there's a number of different ways of going about it. So this is something that I've said quite a few times just recently, is that there's actually no right or wrong way. There is no one way to success. It is a multi-forked path. Which one you choose to go down is your choice alone. What suits you best is what will work most for you. So it may be that you wish to follow the wonderful advice from Steph McKittrick about building your business online, and that would be wonderful, should it work for you. You may wish to use the party plan route or the home or shake party route, which obviously Mags did such a wonderful job of sharing with us last night. Putting me off, Steph. It may be that you wish to follow the health evaluation route that Jackie's about to share with us. It could be any number of different ways. It may even be your own special combination, which we'd love to hear about, of course. So we are going to be covering more and more of those moving forward. I obviously don't want to bombard you with too much information all at once, but just to give you a more of a general idea. And once we've shared that information, we've left someone with a tool, maybe we've sent them a link to a YouTube video, we've handed them a flyer in person or a business card, we've sent them onto our website, and we've made that arrangement to follow up with them the following day or perhaps the day after that, whatever it is you've arranged with them. So what do we do then? Well, there's a couple of really important things. One is to keep it positive. Two is to keep it driven and to a conclusion. And three is to make the offer. So it's really a simple 3-point system that I follow for a number of years now, improving and honing as I've gone along, which really have worked to such great effect. So one thing that I did mention yesterday, and I'll mention it again this evening, is very much about the 3-way call system. So Eric and I actually were discussing this last night, were we not, Mr. Eric? That's right, nodding, very good. And we were saying how it's it's used extensively in North America and in the United States. It's also used, elsewhere to great effect. I know that it's actually, being hand on heart, being true, perfectly honest, it's not something that I'd adopted up until coming into the Isogenics opportunity. But, when someone who generates $20 million a month in sales tells you to do something, it's probably a pretty good idea to start doing it. Because if it's worked to them to that extent, then certainly it's going to work for us to a similar extent too. So once we've made that offer, once you've had that initial chat and answered a few initial questions, then use the expert. So you will all, in time, of course, become the product expert, the opportunity expert, all about shipping, returns, all about the different products, the ingredients, how they work synergistically, the different elements, adaptogens, herbal botanicals, all of these fancy words that people are just discovering certainly I've just discovered in the more recent months. And of course, you'll become proficient in all of those things and learn exactly how to use them. But until that time, then why not use the person that already knows? So why not invite them onto a call with the person that's helped you get started? And that's exactly what we're here to do. So whether it's me you'd like to reach out to, Eric, I'm sure he won't mind me recommending his services. There is, of course, wonderful Jackie, Steph, Jenny Harris, Mags, so many different people to mention, and who not to forget, of course, the person that has introduced you to. And we're all here to enable you to succeed, to achieve whatever goal that it is. So whether it's a health-related question or a wealth-related question, makes no difference. We're here to help you to achieve that. So have no fear in making that approach and to request that 3-way call. What I've been doing up until just recently, I have to say, because of my technical ineptitude, is I've been doing the Zoom calls, because you set it up, you share the link, everyone clicks the link, everyone's there. Happy days. Doesn't get much simpler than that. However, the more astute among you have gathered that in more recent weeks and months, that Facebook have actually developed the capacity to add 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7, however many different people you want, into a regular text messenger chat. But you can then very simply press the button, and then you're all video chatting or audio chatting, like on the go, fashion telephone, and sharing tips and information there. So it's not for that person then to be a persuader. It's not about them harassing or cajoling or persuading in any way. It's simply about passing on a sufficient level of information to inform the person or people that's on that call, for then the final decision to sit with them. The choice always has to be theirs. And then the job of the person that introduced them to the call, so should that be you, let's say you set up a three-way call, is I'll provide that information, then, wish them well, let them know that I'm there should they want or need anything else. And then it's your responsibility then to follow up with that person and say, well, Joe or Jack or whoever it is, what did you think of that? What was it that you liked the best? Always keep it positive. And then not only that, driving them to a point. So it's not about harassment or persuasion. It's about finding out what the conclusion is, because we're very, very busy people. All of our time is very, very precious, doesn't need to be wasted by anyone. And so it's a case of, right, you have the information. Whereabouts are you up to? Eric Worre likes to say, on a scale of 1 to 10, how committed do you think you might be towards this opportunity or towards starting on your health goal? That's not my particular preference, but it works for some. I very simply just say, well, I think this is really incredible. I know it's going to be wonderful for you for reason X, Y, and Z, whatever the genuine compliment is I'm paying them. And I think it would be wonderful should you wish to get started. What do you think? Simple as that. And then they can only say one of three things, can't they? Well, they can say 4 things if they're rude, because they can swear. But assuming that they don't do that, then they can say, yes, let's get started. And you say, wonderful, okay. And I recommend this particular pack for you, or whatever you take it from there. Or they can say, no, it's not for me. Well, that's fine. Make a note to follow up with them in 3 or 4 months' time, as we discussed last night. People's circumstances change all the time. Or they can say, maybe. Well, in which case, you've given them enough time, enough information, made enough effort with them. You can then send them a few more tools and a bit more information, some more web links, leave them with a link to your website, whatever it is. Obviously, your contact details, should they not have that. If you've only been chatting through Facebook, pop in your private number or your whatever number it is you want. Excuse me. And then make sure you follow up in a few months' time, and then they can come back to you. At least you've done your job, because your job, as I say, is to inform people, not persuade. So provide the information, ask where they're up to, whether they're willing to commit at this time. Yes, no, or maybe is a no for now, but to follow up later on. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to move on now to introduce a very, very wonderful, glamorous and beautiful lady by the name of Jackie Egan. Jackie is an incredibly experienced health and nutrition expert, still actively involved in the field, working as you do in partnership with your sister, right, Jackie?
Yes.
Yes, in an aesthetics clinic there, highly influential in a local area, and in fact the wider area of the whole of Scotland, being virtually the Queen of Scotland as you are, aren't you? Is that right, Jackie? And is going to share with you just a taste of the information, the knowledge and the power that she possesses. But rather than taking any thunder away from you, Jackie, would you first and foremost like to tell us a little bit about yourself, your experience and background, and then take us away into the health evaluation?
Okay, thanks for that, Darius. Hi, guys. Thanks for having me on here tonight. As Darius has said, my name's Jackie. I was involved in another MLM company a number of years ago. Built it to a very successful lesson and level, qualified for all the holidays and so forth and such like. I left that company to move on to my most recent company. When I was there for just short of 2 years. And the product was a great product, but it turned out it wasn't really for me, because I like to help people, whether to look better, to feel better, whatever, that's what I like to do. And I was feeling that when I was selling cosmetics to somebody, to keep going back and trying to sell cosmetics just wasn't happening for me. So I kind of took a back seat in that company, and then I was approached by Mags to say, let's go to a meeting. And at what point I was like, oh no, that's me, I'm done with MLM. Went along, found out about this company, and absolutely fell in love with it. Signed up on the spot, and now we're here. So we're now calling ourselves Team No Sleep, because we haven't slept for 6 weeks. and we're all really enjoying the launch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain my take on a wellness evaluation for you. Now, this wellness evaluation can be adapted to do over Zoom, online, whatever way suits your personality best. I personally like to do face-to-face wellness evaluations, and I also like to do the face-to-face wellness evaluation and group meetings. But as I say, it's entirely up to yourself. So how I would start off with a wellness evaluation is I would make an appointment for a one-to-one meeting with whoever the individual is. When they come along, I would introduce myself, sit them down, and have some samples of your product available to you. I would have a quick chat with them, and then I would be saying to them, so what are your health goals? What brought you along to speak to me today? Then they would tell me whether it's weight gain, weight loss, muscle mass building, or just to get a healthy, active lifestyle. So I would say, basically, you've come to the right place. I am a wellness coach with Isogenics, and I'm here to do your wellness evaluation. I would start off by saying this is absolutely 100% a complimentary service. You're not expected to buy anything at all. What I'm here to do is to tell you about a healthier lifestyle, in the hope that you may like what I've got to say. If you do like what I've got to say, I would love it if you came on board and let me help you coach and join you to a healthier, active lifestyle. But you might not. You may not. You may not, and you may not agree with what I've got to say. But what I do ask is that when you go away, whether you purchase from me or whether you don't purchase from me, whether you go on the programme with me or not, I hope I've given you a good enough service that you will go away and you will tell your friends and family how good the service has been, so that I can get my name out in the community and everybody knows where we are. How does that sound for you? Hope then your customer will say, yep, that's great. And just hammer home that we are not here as salespeople. We are here to help people. That's the main goal. So I would also go on to say that my services are completely free of charge and always will be free of charge. However, you may want to buy the food that we're talking about. So that's fine. So I'm going to quickly move on with it. I would sit then and ask them exactly what their health goals are, exactly how they're feeling, how their energy is, and then I would go through a day with them. So I would start off the day by saying, what do you have for your breakfast? Now, I'm thinking about an average working person here, and most people say they grab a coffee from Costa's on the way to work. Right, so a coffee from Costa is probably about £3, £3.50, if not more. Okay, so I would take a note of that, I would write that down, and obviously we all know there's no nutritional value in a cup of coffee from Costa's. So then I would ask them, do they have any snacks before lunch? Most people say they nibble on some sort of cookie or a bit of toast or something before lunchtime. We also know there's no nutritional value in that either. Then we move on to, I'd say, how's lunch? What do you do for your lunch? Most people say they grab a meal deal from Tesco's, and we know that there's very, very little nutritional value in that as well. You're looking at a cheap and nasty sandwich with a fizzy drink and a packet of crisps, all of which costs around £4.50. Then I ask them, do they eat anything else throughout the day before dinner? And they normally say they have a cup of tea and a biscuit, or they have 4 Diet Cokes or Diet Iron Brew, whatever it is. So then we come to dinner. Most people's dinner isn't too bad. Most people their dinner can be adapted. But then you have the ping meal brigade, because they're out working all day, they've not drunk any water, they've had no nutritional value, they come home at night, they're absolutely exhausted, and they put a meal in the microwave. And then they sit and they eat that, and normally there'll be literally no protein in that, maybe about 10 grams. So then we come on to, then I would be asking them after dinner, how do you feel? Most of them will say fine, tired, whatever. I'll say, what do you do in the evenings? And most people say, I crack open a beer or a bottle of wine and I sit in front of TV, and then out comes the nibbles and the crisps and the sweets. So then I'll be saying to them, and what time do you go to bed at? And the time can be anything from 11 p.m. to 2 in the morning. My next question is, when you get into bed, how long does it take you to fall asleep? Most people say that are nutritionally deficient, most people say, well, I get to bed and I watch a bit of TV, then I play on my phone, and then I toss and I turn, then I fall asleep. I maybe fall asleep for a few hours, then I wake up. And my question then is, and how's your sleep when you're sleeping? Are you in a deep, restful sleep? They always say, nope, I toss and I turn and I'm up and I'm down. And at that point, I'll say, why do you think that is? And at that point, they maybe tell you some health reasons as to why that is. Whether it's they're just unfit, whether they have things like fibromyalgia or whatever their health concern is. So I then say, well, there's probably a really good reason for the fact that you don't sleep and you feel tired and you feel sluggish. You're probably not getting the nutrients that your body needs. So then I would go through their breakfast, their lunch and their dinner, and I would say to them, it looks to me like you're probably not getting enough protein. So I'll go back to the breakfast and I'll say, yeah, your coffee, there's no protein, no nutrients in that. Your lunch, possibly a small 5 grams. Your ping meal at night, you're maybe looking at 10 to 15 grams of protein, but it's saturated in salts and all the nasties that aren't good for your body. And then your crisps, your juice, your wine, your beer at night, your body can't rest like that. So then I would say to them, when you go to bed at night, the reason you're not sleeping is because your body is trying to repair itself, but you haven't given your body anything to repair itself with all day. When you go to bed at night, you should be getting into a sound, restful sleep. You should have all the proteins, vitamins, minerals, everything that you need for your body to repair itself from the inside. When it has all that, it will go for a nice sleep, and then you'll wake up in the morning and you should feel refreshed. Now, how would I help you to fix that? I would recommend a package, and then I would explain the package. And I would say the reason, I wouldn't talk about costs or anything, I would just show the actual products. And I would say, well, I would recommend that your body, to be healthy and to not lose muscle mass, you need roughly about 100 grams of protein per day, because that's a kind of ballpark figure. I'm sure Eric will help me out if I get that one wrong, but that's a pretty much a ballpark figure. So if I give you a shake in the morning for breakfast, and you have this shake within 1 hour of waking up in the morning, drink your shake down, that has 24 grams of protein in it, and it has all the vitamins and minerals that your body needs for one meal. That will sustain you for at least 2 to 3 hours, at which point I would recommend that you eat a snack. I would like you to eat the snack and not wait until you're hungry. There's every possibility that you might think you're not hungry, but your body needs to be fueled. So we want you to have the snack, and then 2 to 3 hours after that, you'll have your lunchtime shake. Again, your lunchtime shake is providing you with at least 24 grams of protein, the vitamins, the minerals, and the nutrients that your body should be getting to fuel itself and to fuel your muscle and to progress the rest of the day. Now, in between lunch and dinner, I'd like you to have a small snack, maybe, and then you would recommend the product or recommend the protein amount, and that should sustain you right through the day until dinner time. Now, when you're having your dinner in the evening, we want you to have a proper healthy dinner. But can I just say that it's 2 shakes per day. So if you want to replace your lunchtime and have food at lunch and a shake at night time, you can do that. Or if you want to swap over your meals, then that's no problem. So for your main meal of the day, I would be saying you need to have a healthy portion of protein. A nice healthy portion of chicken filled, and then the rest of your plate filled with colourful healthy vegetables, lots of them, and some brown rice or couscous or something. So something like that, because that's a naturally balanced healthy meal. And on that plate, you should be getting a lot of the nutrients that are in your first 2 shakes, but it's not as clean, it's not as pure, and it's not as highly nutritional as your shakes and your bars. But everybody needs to have at least 1 meal a day. Now, by not having a balanced diet, the shortfalls in your nutrients are what can potentially cause ill health. Our foods that I would love it if you came on board and you take, our foods are not designed to cure any illnesses. It's not going to it's not the food that makes you better. It's the nutrients that you get into your body. When you put nutrients into your body, the body starts to heal and repair itself. Now, these products that I'm going to recommend to you, these products, as soon as you put them into your system, these products know exactly what they're doing. They know where they're going and what to do, but to help them do their job, you need a vehicle. And the vehicle that you're going to use to help these products do their job is water. So you need to drink a very minimum of 2, 3 or more, depending on your height and your size, litres of water every day. Now, what I was going to say is that when you find that you're using the water for these nutrients, we're getting into your system, you'll find that you'll have more energy, you'll sleep better, your skin will look better, and your eyes will look more vibrant. So let's go back to your plan that you're already doing. So for your breakfast and your lunch, you're spending approximately just about £10 per day. Okay, and then I would show them the packs. Personally, I would do the packs as fast, faster, and fastest. But I'm sure Isogenics will have a way that they want us to look at the packs. So I would always recommend that the individual goes for the 30-day weight loss plan pack, because it's got all the nutrients that are in it. I would break it down to them and say, well, you're already spending £10 per day. In fact, you're probably spending £12 or £13 per day by the time you count in your sweets, your juice, your crisps. So that's £13 per day. I can give you a fully balanced nutritional program that will have you feeling absolutely amazing, and the cost would be probably round about £9 odds per day. Compared to what you're already spending and compared to the health benefits that you're going to get, it's entirely up to you. So as I said, now you know what I have to offer. Now you know where we can move forward, and it's entirely up to you if you would like to come on board. Now, guys, I have to tell you that seeing doing this with my last company, when I get somebody to sit down and tell them that you really genuinely want to help them, I have a 100% success rate. I've never had anybody sit in front of me and do a wellness evaluation and then say, no thanks, it's not for me. It has never happened in the 3 years that I was doing these. It never happened. Then I would say to them, I'm happy, you could do it online, you could do measurements. If it's a face-to-face wellness evaluation, I would say I do group weigh and measures. And then I explain to them, I personally don't like scales. I use them because that's what us in the UK seem to thrive on, our weight. And if it was a woman in particular, I'd be saying, you don't walk into the shop and the shop assistant says, what weight are you? before they find your dress. They'll say, what size are you? I'll say to them, so I will be concentrating on your measurements and not what it says in the scales, because hopefully we'll be able to, hopefully once you're feeling a bit better, you'll be more active, you'll start exercising, you'll be gaining a bit of lean muscle mass, and you'll be losing body fat. So there is a chance that your weight might not drop on the scales, but you'll drop dress sizes. It's absolutely. So when you go on the plan, when you start the plan, I will be in contact with you on day one. Day one, I will contact you in the evening. Just a quick message, whatever way suits you. I'm happy to call, text, or messenger to find out how your first day is going. And then I would explain to them there's a possibility you might have some headaches, you might feel a bit tired, that's your body getting rid of toxins. I said, then I will contact you again in day three. Day three is when I'll be calling you, I'll be finding out how you're doing, have you managed to stick to the plan. We'll discuss the way forward. I'll also be texting you or sending you little reminders now and again to keep up the water intake, because as I say, these products need to be, they need to travel through the body, and the way to do that is water. I will contact you day 5 and day 7. Now, my reason for contacting these people on day 1, day 3, day 5 and day 7 is because we are now building up a rapport with each other. We're getting to know each other. She's telling me our pitfalls, and by keeping up with her, then she's not likely to say, oh, I feel terrible, and bin the whole lot and not come back. So you're building rapport, you're building relationships. The next time she comes to visit you, you'll know how she's feeling through the phone, and then you'll kind of get a feeling for who he or she is. And the next time she comes to visit, you say, why don't you bring your friend along and we'll do her a wellness evaluation? And that leads to conversations like, oh, she needs it more than me, she eats rubbish, and then we start having a laugh about too much chocolate, too much crisps, too much wine. So now when I get her through a wellness evaluation, get her started on products, she's now my friend. Built a relationship up. Personally, my goal for her is to get her a great weight loss result or a healthy living result, and hopefully she'll turn into a fantastic associate. And basically that's what I do, and I hope it was of some use to you. I kind of rattled through it a wee bit, but I hope you get the idea. Now, will I open this up for questions, Darius?
Well, can I just say, Jackie, that was absolutely brilliant. It wasn't, extra long, but that's certainly not any bad thing at all. Every single piece of information was a golden nugget, clearly honed from tried and tested experience. And I certainly know that should I, as you have offered to do already, sit down with you for 15 minutes, never mind the hundreds of pounds worth of products I've bought already, I'll be buying hundreds of pounds worth more, no doubt.
Excellent. You'll be an Adonis.
So does that mean if I have 4 shakes a day, I'll lose twice as much weight? Is that what that means?
Well, listen, see if somebody was hungry, rather than reach out for a sandwich or something, I would say have an extra shake.
Yeah.
You can't put too much good nutrients into your body.
True. This is very true. So I have a couple of questions then. So in a similar way that we covered with Mags last night, that it's clear that you have a very well-honed skill set that you've developed over a period of time. Of course, that's a reproducible skill, given enough time and effort. What advice can you give to people that are just starting out? Perhaps they're not entirely sure where to start with it all. Is there a sort of starting place, not a slimmed down version, but like a basic starter version that anyone can pick up in a few minutes' time and run with?
Yes, keep it simple. Keep it as simple as possible. Okay. Ask them breakfast, lunch, dinner. Ask them how much each one is, yep. And ask them how they're feeling. If people are coming to you, they're coming to you for a reason, because they feel like rubbish, or they're overweight, but there'll be a reason that they're coming to you, because they want a result. So you ask them what the result is, ask them what they have for breakfast, lunch and dinner, explain that there's probably not enough nutrients in those meals, but this stuff here, and just as basic as that, this stuff here has everything in it that you need.
As an opener, and then you can take it into more detail, maybe follow up with them in more detail later on, right?
Absolutely, or contact myself for your upline if you're stuck. Phone us. Fiona had somebody the other night. She was doing a wellness evaluation first. She was struggling. It was quite late. She phoned me. I done a 3-way conversation with her client, and the girl went away buzzing for the products.
Cool. So, as you know, Jackie, I do most of my recruiting outside the local health clubs and never in the pub at all. So, given that being given that being the case, then how is it you would have that health club / pub conversation? So, can I just have a go at it myself, and you tell me if I'm right?
Okay.
So I might say, taking on board what you've just said tonight, I might say something really simple. So I'd say, roughly how much do you spend each week on breakfast and lunch?
Well, it depends what you're eating just now. What do you eat just now?
No, if I say to someone, if I'm chatting them up, business.
Oh, sorry, you're saying to them.
I say to them, roughly what would you spend? Like, do you get your lunch at work, or do you take it with you? Do you have cereal? Like break it down a little bit just to help them, but have that one basic question. What do you spend each week? And you're establishing kind of where they're at. And then I might have 2 basic answers to that, because either it'd be the same or more than they would have to spend to, gain the benefit of these wonderful products. Or maybe if it was less, it's a case of, well, it's a £2 or £3 a week premium, or a £5 premium, whatever it is, to feel great within yourself and to change your health proposition forever.
See, Darius, I wouldn't go about it that way.
Okay.
I would go about it, if I was wanting to open up a question with somebody. My question to everybody, I think you've seen me do it, is, oh, you look really fit. What did you have for your breakfast today?
Yeah.
And I always start it with a breakfast. Or somebody says, oh, I've been working all day, I'm knackered, I'm tired. My question is always starts with, well, what did you have for your breakfast today?
Okay.
And then they would tell me with that, and then eventually they would say, so what do you do? And I would maybe say isogenics. And they would say, oh, that's really expensive, is it not? And I would say, well, no, you're looking about £2.50 odd a meal. But why don't we have a chat on the phone, or why don't we get together and we'll go through and see exactly what it is.
Perfect.
Or what you need.
I see. Yeah, I understand.
Does that answer it?
I understand entirely. Yeah, very good. Thank you. So Sally's raised her hand, but I'm not certain whether she's done so on purpose. She has a little habit of doing this, of putting her hand up when really she's just sitting there peacefully taking it all in, aren't you? And now I'm just picking on you. So at this point then, I'd like to open it up to everyone. By all means, feel free to put a question in the chat group if you're still a little bit shy. Or you can ask a question live using the audio. Has anyone got any questions either for myself or for the very wonderful Jackie, or maybe even for the wonderful Mr. Eric who's decided to join us today? I thought I'd unmuted everyone. I clearly haven't, have I? Right. I'll tell you what, I'll press the unmute button rather than the mute button, Charlie. That might help. Okay, so I've done that now. So has anyone got any questions? Go on, Mr. Eric, unmute yourself. I've done it for you.
I've got a question.
Yeah, go ahead. Who's that? Sorry?
It's Sally.
Hi, Sally. Go ahead.
Right. It's for Jackie, really. I mean, tomorrow I'm going to be strutting my stuff down a BMX track. I'm taking down the Amped. I'm taking down some shakes, but I'm going to give samples out in shot glasses. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to take down the e-shots. What I want to know is, on the Amped, it says just 1 per day. But what is the minimum age that they can take them at?
Do you want to chip in there, Eric, maybe?
Eric.
Okay, coming
I'm just distracted by. Oh, there you go. Perfect. Thank you, Darius, for muting out.
No problem.
So I'm just unclear as to what you mean by amped.
Amped hydrate.
Dehydrating drink.
Oh, okay. It says 1 per day. Where?
On the box.
I never read the box.
How many do you have in a day, Eric?
I don't want to overdose children with sort of like.
Yeah, well, the common sense thing that I repeat to everyone is if you want to give something to children, just give them half a dose, just like you would give them half a portion of a normal meal, right?
Okay.
So that's the thing. But the hydrate is basically your healthy version of a Gatorade or a Powerade.
Yeah.
Right. So in that sense, I have more than once a day if I need it. Right. That's something that I drink during a workout.
It's called Lucozade Sport in Britain, Eric.
No, do you know what, Darius? I prefer the Gatorade, but it's really difficult to get hold of over here.
I was going to say it's rare, isn't it?
I can go to the shop now and get it.
Oh, can you? So my son's telling me he can go to the shop now and get it, but I don't think so.
I'm sure about that. Mum.
There you go. Well, he doesn't even need to get to the shop now. He got the hydrate right at home.
Exactly. So, but also on the e-shots, are children allowed those?
Again, I would give half a dose. There's not much caffeine into it.
Yeah.
So I would give half a dose.
Right.
But I do know that there's a limit on those per day, which I never listen to.
Right, okay.
I have to be honest. This is an honesty call. I've had more than 6 per day.
Mom, where's the airbed?
So, no, he's racing tomorrow, so he wants to get himself pumped up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, definitely. I use the e-shots as a pre-workout. So definitely that'll be perfect if you have a race or any sort of sporting activities. Perfect.
Yeah, cool. Perfect. So, and hopefully I'll get all the mums and the kids into the products tomorrow.
Well, yeah. Absolutely.
Perfect.
So does that answer your question, Sally?
It does, yes. Thank you.
Okay, good. So, yes, respect whatever it says on the box.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Everything else that you do is at your own risk. I have to say that legally so nobody sues me. Okay?
Okay.
But I tend to drink more than one.
I've just checked the boxes. On the hydrate, it just says to mix 1 stick with water. It doesn't recommend a maximum dose.
Oh, doesn't it? I thought it did.
That's what I thought.
And on the side of the e-shot box, it says 1 daily.
Yes.
Oh, maybe I got them mixed up.
Yeah. So don't worry about the hydrate. I mean, so
he can have as much of that as he wants.
Yeah, it's about using it as long as it's useful, isn't it? So there's no point in having it until it comes out of his ears.
So 2 of my big bottles up.
Okay, cool.
And you can make especially here because it's starting to be really warm here. You can make lollipops out of hydrates.
Yeah.
Those are awesome.
Are they? Okay, we'll try some of those as well when the weather gets a bit warmer.
You can do that with his shakes as well, can't you? You can freeze the shakes and make strawberry ice lollies.
Yeah, Raven said about that, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what his little boy has. Sneaking away of getting nutrition into little boys.
Yeah. Well, I've got a 14-year-old that needs nutrition, but he had a shake for breakfast this morning.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Nice.
Okay, so any other questions from any other peoples?
Mom, where's the airbed?
No, not that kind of question. More about the business, if possible. All right. Okay. Any questions then before we close it up? Okay. Well, thank you so very much for all tuning in. You've been wonderful as ever. A really great audience and crowd. Hopefully you're living and learning each and every day, not only in terms of making your way towards your health goal, but also your wealth goals too. Thank you once again for tuning in, and I can't wait for tomorrow evening where we have our our ultimate or our final training for the week to see us out in grand style is the one and only Jenny Harris who is very imminently about to achieve the wonderful rank of 2-star Crystal Director, maybe even more besides, I'm sure. She'll be letting us know in her own exciting way, and she will be sharing with us the benefit of her experience and knowledge in the area of personal development and the importance of mindsets in seeing you succeed. It's an area that is often overlooked in most professions, network marketing being no exception to that, but actually is so very, very vital. And the reason we have very carefully selected Jenny to do that is because not only is she incredibly experienced in that area, but also has learned some valuable and very productive lessons from that. So be sure to tune in at 9 p.m. for that final session for the week with both myself and Jenny Harris. Until then, I bid you all a fond farewell. Bye for now.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.